Can we do that? Make it short, sweet. I would love that. I would love
I
that.
know I can do that, right?
Which one? Yeah.
Make it short and sweet, just agree with everything.
Yeah.
I noticed this, awful convenient.
We're going to go ahead and call this meeting to order. The new business we have on this evening is approve the minutes from June 5th and June 14th meeting. If I can get a motion to approve these minutes.
I'll make a motion.
Second?
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Philpott?
Yes.
Mr. Young?
Yes.
Mr. Benj?
Yes.
Mr. Jervis?
Yes.
Ms. Green?
Yes.
We have a really good crowd here tonight. We would like to thank all of you guys for attending and letting your voices be heard regarding these annexations. Tonight, we are going to let you guys voice your concerns or have your questions before we read these annexations out. We want to answer any questions that we possibly can, dispel any rumors that we can, and then ultimately just hear what the public has to say regarding that, and then make sure that we're putting out the correct information regarding this annexation the process. So again, before we get into them, we're going to let you guys speak. There is a list that you did before coming in the building. Those individuals we will call on. Some of you guys, we can't read some of the names, but we'll do our best. Don't get upset if we misread it somehow. But we're going to go on with the meeting here tonight. Police Chief, you got a report?
For the month of June, the London Police Department opened 49 criminal cases, 29 incident reports. We worked 13 injury collisions, 1,558 citations, 16 DUIs arrests, 213 criminal arrests. We answered 880 calls for service for a total of 2,761 total activities. Another thing I wanted to pass along and hope everybody will help us promote is on August the 4th, we're having the Travis Hurley Memorial Golf Scramble, the inaugural first annual at the London Country Club. Again, that's August 4th, so if you guys are golfers or know any golfers, please pass that along and help us to make this as big of an event as possible. All the proceeds from this will go to Travis's wife, Angela, and their son. So if y'all can help us out with that, we'd appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. Next thing on the agenda is Fire Chief. Do you have a report for the council?
For the month of June, we done a total of 64 runs. Training hours, we had 521 man hours. Done 8 inspections of firework tents. We were in 61 business places doing pre-plans. Smoke detectors, we got 4 of them installed. We've also started working with the Utility Commission doing the 2 hydrant flow testing of the community. That way we can get the best data, and it works good for ISO to help get our points down. In the month of September, we're working with American Red Cross. We're going to try to blanket some areas with smoke detectors, trying to save as many lives as we can.
Thank you, Chief. Street Department, tonight the last council meeting, Philip and them talked about surplus and vehicles. It's in your packet. I don't know if you haven't seen them yet, but they were trying to get these surplused the last council meeting, and then we'd asked them to provide us more information. So if you guys are comfortable with surplusing the items that they have there, we'll just need a motion to approve surplus.
Motion to approve.
I'll second it.
Mr. Philpott?
Yes.
Mr. Young?
Yes.
Mr. Benj?
Yes.
Mr. Jervis?
Yes.
Ms. Green?
Yes.
Thank you, council. Next thing on the agenda is code enforcement report. You'll see in your packets there as well what code enforcement had done and some of the building permitting report that we've put out on for the new system that we have. Also, Josh is here to answer any questions that you may have. Come on up, Josh.
So it looks like for the month of June, we issued 23 building permits. And then we had 54 parking tickets issued, and we sent out roughly 18 different correspondences in regards to code enforcement, ordinance enforcement, and we presented 3 cases to the Code Enforcement Board.
Any questions, council? Thank you, Josh.
Yes.
And you have that report in your packet as well. I think they even put in the letters that were issued. You'll see them and who we issued them to and the reasons. So they're doing a fantastic job working with the community about a lot of these violations or things when people call in. So I'm very proud of that department and the efforts that they're making. The next thing on the agenda is East London Church Street Road closure. This was something that we had talked about in the prior meeting. We was wanting to bring this back up and see if you guys had made a decision on what you're wanting to do on this street.
I would prefer that it just put up a barrier for Sunday and Wednesday. And I did go out and speak to all the neighbors on that street this week, and they all said that would be fine with them. But the ones I spoke to, I didn't know if you got a petition together or not, but the property owner said they'd rather not have it closed completely. I don't know what we could do in that area.
Would that satisfy the preacher?
I prepared affidavits for, I think there were 5 property owners involved, and gave them to him to get signs, so I'm sure he's talking to those people. Those were concerned with the closing of the road. If you all decide to put up a barrier, something like that, that'd be different.
Can we do it?
Yes.
Can he have a
By
temporary?
ordinance, I think we probably could put an ordinance together now.
Would
No, I don't, yeah, you adopted that street as a city street, so you can close it at least temporarily.
But could the pastor himself do it on Sunday morning, just set the barrier out, or would we have to be something we'd have to do every?
No, I think city workers would have to go out and do that.
I mean, it'd be nice to try that for a while.
Are they get city workers gonna go out on Sunday and do
Yeah,
that
they're
now?
using city workers to do it.
Well, the police can set the barrier out, can't they? Can't they just leave it there?
Stacy, you said you went and talked to them people up and down that street. What was the general consensus?
There was one that said they didn't mind, one said yeah, absolutely not. And, but they're all fine with closing it temporarily. If you want to put a gate up, I don't know what we can do, or you want to try signs first? Or you want to pass it and see if the pastor talks to people? I couldn't find anybody that wanted it closed.
Oh, you couldn't?
No, nobody wanted it closed, other than the pastor, and including a few people at the church that used the road. I'm
Yeah,
not
I
sure
would
what the
hate
solution
to
is.
commit the PD, especially busy as they stay, and then we don't get out there, and then it become a liability.
Could be to have to do it all the time. Hopefully that people would slow down or stop using it.
Why can't they just put a gate up and just close it during the church service? Got, like a road closed on it or something, just it stays.
We could possibly do that.
But on one
Get
end,
this-
it's in the parking, the road's in the parking lot, so that'd be hard
But
to
actually,
gate that off,
Parking
right?
lot's in the road. They made
Well,
it-
the parking lot's in the road,
Yeah.
but that's a problem.
They did,
Either way, that's a problem.
they blocked it off for July 4th themselves with, and it ribbon and it worked. I guess, I don't know if they asked for permission. I think it's probably something they do every year.
If
It's
it's
set
a,
out
ci-
chairs.
if it's a city street and all the neighbors don't want it closed, seems to me that we will have to work a situation out where we can do a gate or something, because it is, people have the right to use that road if it's a city street. So we're gonna have to come up with a solution for the church, because I know how bad a situation that is. I went out and looked at it, and somebody could be hurt. been out in that parking lot. I mean, it's dangerous, but I just don't know if the church needs to be responsible for,
Putting out the cones.
well, either putting out cones, or if we do a
Repairing.
gate, just unlocking it, opening it, closing it, just during church services.
Do you want us to talk to the street department and look at the options of putting a gate? And then the details of how we operate that gate or who's going to do it, we can work out at a later date? Is that feasible?
That'd be fine.
That
And
makes
maybe
more sense.
consider a sign that says closed to through
Yeah.
traffic on Sunday. You know,
There you go.
And rather
Just
than
let the
city
church see how
employees
that
have,
works for a while.
rather than city employees having to maintain it, I would, allow the pastor to do that if he would open and close it as needed. But again, it being a city road, I don't think we can close it if everybody wants to use it.
Then we just make a motion to put a gate up on that street to close it.
I'll make a motion to put a gate up.
I'll second that. Go ahead.
Mr. Philpott,
I'm fine with it, yes.
Mr. Young,
Yes.
Mr. Bench.
Yes.
Mr. Jervis.
Yes.
Ms. Green.
Yes.
That's a gate for him to use on Sundays or Wednesdays.
That is correct.
Needed.
Yeah.
Next thing on the agenda is first reading of ordinance number 2023-33, ordinance allowing certain off-premise signs of businesses in the corporate limits of the city of London. The city clerk will read this ordinance.
A summary of ordinance number 2023-33 entitled, "An Ordinance Allowing Certain Off-Premise Signs of Businesses Within the Corporate Limits of the City of London, more than 660 feet but not more than 1,330 feet from the edge of the right-of-way of I-75 or State Route 192." This summary is of ordinance number 2023-33 as above named, is prepared by Larry G. Bryson, who states that he is licensed to practice law in the Commonwealth, and who states that this is an accurate summary of said ordinance. Because some businesses located off I-75 and State Route 192 cannot be easily seen from those roads, and off-premise signs have not been allowed in the city, this ordinance allows the property owner or leasee of the business property to place an off-premise sign advertising the business upon application to the city building inspector, who may issue the permit. The application fee is $200. If the business inspector declines to issue a permit, that decision may be appealed to the zoning adjustment board. This business must be more than 660 feet and less than 1,330 feet from I-75 and/or 192. It is the responsibility of the business owner to comply with any and all state and federal laws and regulations otherwise applicable to the sign. This sign may advertise the business name, hours of operation, contact information, and similar information. The full text of ordinance number 2023-33 is on file with the office of the city clerk of the City of London and may be inspected during regular business hours. The ordinance is effective upon publication.
Is there any questions regarding this ordinance?
So put that in layman terms. This means if someone's way off the road, they can put a sign out by the road.
Oh,
To
yes,
say
on
this is where-
the busy portions of the, like off of I-75 or 192, not talking about off Main Street and things of that nature, but we have a lot of businesses that are set so far off the road, they're currently not allowed to go out to like 192 and have a marquee sign or something up. So this, again, Josh's office would heavily regulate this, but it would give them the option to be able to say, hey, we're here. And we have several businesses that's being affected by this right now.
Would the sign go like on the highway right away or on private property?
It would be on private property. I doubt that they could get an encroachment permit to put it on the right-of-way of the highway. The 660 feet is because of I call it the federal billboard ordinance that requires in areas such as the area around the Dog Patch Center, that Shiloh's out that direction, that it be more than 660 feet from a federally sponsored highway. So this would include 192 and I-75. and the Daniel Boone Parkway.
They're putting their sign on their own property.
No,
What
this
I'm
is
saying.
an off-premise sign.
But
So
we can't give them
you-
permission to put their sign on somebody else's property.
Yes, usually they have to lease an area to put a sign up like that. But this is what some of the property owners wanted, and we were trying, because their businesses are located so far off of 192 or the Parkway or I-75. They
So
can't really be
Could the
seen.
property owner charge them?
Yes, yeah. You lease
They
an
would
area.
lease a spot to place that sign.
This just makes it possible.
Why? Why are we even involved in it then?
Because their current ordinance says that you can't have an off-premise sign, meaning if you were 1,000 foot off the roadway, that business, unless they're right on the roadway, they cannot have a sign.
So there's an ordinance we're replacing
Yes.
the ordinance.
Yeah.
But this is only on 192 and I-75, right?
Yes.
Right now, all off-premise signs are prohibited. And I suspected you didn't want to open this up on Main Street, but, you take businesses like Air Raid, for example, that are located really deep in that property. Unless you know where you're going, it's difficult to find it.
Yeah.
And there's some hotels back there that are the same. So it will
I see what
help
you're
those
saying.
businesses.
So when you're measuring the 1,330 feet, does it follow the road around to where they are? Is that how that?
No, that's the furthest away the business can be. The
Okay.
660
Is
is
the minimum.
measuring from the road right of way to the property line.
I got you, so it affects a lot of those people on 75.
And that
How about y'all?
1,330 feet, that's a quarter of a mile roughly.
And you got the places by Kroger's, I guess. I could see that. There's several of them.
I make a motion to accept the first reading of this ordinance.
I second.
Mr. Philpott?
Yes.
Mr. Young?
Yes.
Mr. Bench?
Yes.
Mr. Jervis?
Yes.
Ms. Green?
Yes.
Next thing that we have on the agenda is approve the resolution of the city for annexing. This would be, is this G? This would be G, track G of the annexation process. None of you guys are here for this one, so we're going to go ahead and do this one, and then we will have two other ordinances, and then we'll get into while the majority of you guys are here. Council, do you want this resolution read, or do you want to disapprove the resolution? Have you had time to read it?
Yeah, I don't need it read.
Okay, yeah, and then if I can just get a motion to approve the resolution, we can go into the reading of the ordinance.
I'll make a motion to approve the resolution for annexation G.
Second?
Mr. Philpott?
Yes.
Mr. Young?
Yes.
Mr. Bench?
Yes.
Mr. Jervis?
Yes.
Ms. Green?
Yes.
Do you have next? This is the first reading of ordinance number 2023-34, intent to enter the property of right-of-way of the portion of Old Whitley Road, State Route 1006, and exiting the city limits to McGill Pine Grove Road to Philpott Road, to I-75, to the city limits, State Route 363, to the beginning of containing 482.13 acres, parcel G.
A summary of ordinance number 2023-34 entitled An Ordinance of Intent to Annex an Area of Property in the Right-of-Way of a Portion of Old Whitley Road to the existing city limits to McGill Pine Grove Road to Philpott Road to I-75 and to the city limits to State Route 363 to the beginning containing 482.13 acres, parcel G. This summary is of ordinance number 2023-34 as above named is prepared by Larry G. Bryson, who states that he is licensed to practice law in the Commonwealth and who states that this is an accurate summary of said ordinance. The property that is subject of this ordinance is depicted on a map, Exhibit A to the ordinance, and is contiguous to the present city property annexed by ordinance number 984, ordinance number 2023-13, ordinance number 2020-17, and ordinance number 2023-22. The property is described by survey in Exhibit B to the ordinance, and both the map and property description were made by Kentucky Surveys. US 363 and State Route 1006 are owned by the state, and the county road property is owned by Laurel County, Kentucky. Other property within Tract G is owned by different property owners, all of whom will be provided notice by the city clerk of this proposed annexation. In this ordinance, the council makes all necessary and required findings pursuant to KRS 81A-410 for annexation of the property, and these are listed in detail in the full text of the ordinance, which is located at the Office of City Clerk of the City of London. Following those findings, the council ordains that the property is intended to be annexed, that notices be provided to the Commonwealth of Kentucky, Laurel County, Kentucky, and all property owners within this area to be annexed, as the property is depicted on Exhibit B. The ordinance is to be effective upon publication.
Any questions regarding this ordinance, the reading of this first ordinance?
I noticed.
Yeah, so this is not part of the annexations that we've read currently. So this is a different, it's a part of this, but this is the first reading of it, so it's not on the map that you have currently. You were notified in the proper manner after the first reading. We're to give you notice, and that the city clerk did do so. Yes, prior to the second reading, we give out notices, and that's why you received notice in the mail before we did the second reading of your tract.
No, the Kentucky law, to get it in motion, we have to have a first reading. The notice that's required to all property owners within the area to be annexed is between the first and second reading. And I think that's why y'all are here.
So, can I ask a question? How did you,
Can we get through these? We want to keep decorum, because if we don't, we're going to be here all night tonight, and we don't care to do that. But let's get to the project, and then we'll answer your guys' questions. I promise. I don't want to leave here until you guys have asked us the questions and we've answered. But on this track right here, do you guys have any questions, council?
Is there a reason that you went out Philpott Road where it makes the turn back on the McGill Pine Grove Road? You went on out Philpott Road to where it dead ends. Is there a reason you didn't go on the other side of the road?
He's here. Do you want to answer any questions they have?
Well, I know we surveyed that side of the road. Is there a reason we didn't annex the houses on the
I don't think that
left-hand
was any
side of the road?
particular. I think we just went off of what we currently had, wasn't it?
See, I'm Curtis Phelps, I'm a licensed land surveyor. I work with the councilman, Mr. Bryson.
Past the
States
junction,
that's McGill Pine Grove.
past the junction of McGill
It
Pine,
takes
it
the whole
goes out
road all
dead
the way back
ends
to
out
Philpott
there.
Road.
But we got the right-hand side of it, we didn't get the left.
It takes in the south side of McGill Pine Grove.
Was there a particular reason we didn't want to do the left? I mean, if we have to go out there,
Pardon?
those houses on the
Why
left-hand
we
side,
didn't do the
it's
north
a dead
side,
end
that's the
road, why
question.
not have,
We're wanting to take in the road. If anybody wants to annex on the south side, they can attach to us. We work with the Secretary of State, and they require that it's depicted as adjacent to a property owner if somebody wants to add on.
on that side.
the road.
The other
Right,
side is,
from the road.
the other side's involuntary though. On that side, it's voluntary.
Right, it's a county road, we're just taking the, up to the south side of the road.
Yeah. The track G, what this ordinance is about is an involuntary annexation, and that includes the roads that are there.
I mean, I know I mentioned this in our last meeting, and that why we didn't annex this area, you went farther than I thought you was going to. I would assume we'd have went to Philpott Road and stayed on this side of Philpott Road, just so we'd get the Pennington Bowling, Terra Estates, and Keithshire. That's just my thinking.
That was filling in the gap that you had requested.
Well, I asked for, it does get the areas that I mentioned, but then it goes much farther out. Just want to point that out.
And I'm reading here on the map that Meadowbrook Road, are we annexing down the road, or we're taking in that subdivision also, Meadowbrook? See, off to the little square at the top, to the left-hand side, Meadowbrook Road?
That's in that other track.
It's not part of G.
But it's in another track?
Yes.
It's- Okay.
That's why it's whited out on that.
This was the portion that, when we were doing this, a lot of these annexations were already, had done previous to us, or the information on them anyway. This was the track G was the part where we were questioning why we're not taking that in. So he went back and filled in the spots that was missing on the.
Remember that? There was a hole right there.
Yeah, but I just said they went farther out than I thought was necessary.
Because all you did, Curtis, was the entire area that was missing on that map in between what we're annexing, you filled in, correct?
Right, that's correct. We
That
took
is-
in the
okay.
Terra Estates, that area in there.
And I think if you match this up to the map that you guys had seen the previous council, it would align that that's exactly what was missing.
Could it have been done out 363 and Philpott Road to this side, to the town side?
We can change it and go down Philpott Road if you want to. There's just a small area in there. It takes in a couple of Cameron Lane,
No, I
Slush
mean-
Puppy Road.
I mean, instead of taking on, you got the map, instead of taking on Cameron Lane, Slush Puppy Road, and Harris Lane, just stay to the, I guess it's I don't know what direction it is, toward town side.
So you're saying don't go close to I-75?
Correct.
Right.
Just the Philpott Road on this side. We already get 363 out to the McGill Line Road on the other side of the bridge there, correct? Yeah. That's just me. That's my one-sixth opinion. That's all I had envisioned.
It's
was that we
involuntary
went down.
anyway, on that side, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
I
agree.
think the concept, though, would be to leave that out and stop at Philpott and leave all that one little sector.
We can leave that one section out. I mean, we leave other sections out.
Yeah, I agree with Stacy on that, and leave that off that Philpott Road there, stop right there.
I got a feeling that those people may
And then
not.
on the other side of the interstate,
too
you pick up at
interested
Ryan
anyway.
McGill.
Yeah.
I
You
would-
know, before, it's like the mayor said, we were using, you'd indicated, maybe not you, Stacy, in particular, but the council had indicated they wanted to use the annexation plans that had been previously presented. And that's basically what Curtis
Is
had
that what you
done.
did?
If
They
you
should be
all,
changed.
if you all want to change it,
Yeah.
you need to give him some direction
And I
about it.
apologize, I knew generally where they were, but I'd never seen this one. And I didn't realize it actually extended all the way out Philpott Road like that. The
So
other ones
Curtis,
were
they're-
pretty much where I thought they were gonna be.
You're wanting it to cut off at Philpott Road.
I would prefer it, yes. My intention
that
was,
would
I
be
know
the-
the people, and some people in Keithshire and Terra Estates and Pennington Bowling are interested, but I don't know, about that street out there. It's getting pretty far out in that area. Plus, it goes all the way out that road. I mean, it doesn't look long on this map, but that's a long
That's
way
a
to send our
very
city
long road,
police
yeah.
out to the end of there.
Yeah.
Kind of gets sketchy out in that end of that road. I shouldn't say that, but I would,
I know that was a part of the original plan, but I'm with Stacy on that. I think we need to stop there at Philpott Road. That's a very long stretch when you get on Philpott Road going all the way out there.
Yeah.
So, it's my opinion.
Yeah, we can change it if y'all want to.
Philpott back this way. I guess you'd have to survey the Philpott section there. I mean, I'm glad you did it. I'm glad you added it on.
So can we just get a motion to table this till the next meeting?
I make a motion to table.
Second?
Second.
Mr. Philpott?
Yes.
Mr. Young?
Yes.
Mr. Bench?
Yes.
Mr. Jervis?
Yes.
Ms. Green?
Yes.
Curtis, do you understand enough about? Yeah.
Next thing on the agenda is a second reading of the number 2023-16. This is the adopted standards of fire safety. We can have the city clerk read.
City of London Summary of Ordinance Number 2023-16 entitled An Ordinance Adopting Standards of Fire Safety's Definition, Mitigation Rates, Fire Protection Outside of the City Limits, Designated Enforcement Officer, Smoke Detectors, Enforcement, Fines, Appeal Process, Effective Date. This is a summary of the above ordinance by the City Attorney Larry G. Bryson, who is licensed and authorized to practice law within the Commonwealth of Kentucky, and further states the following is an accurate summary of this ordinance. The stated intent of this ordinance is to establish standards of fire safety to prevent residential and commercial fires and to protect the citizens of London. The definitions section defines fire chief and owners. The city follows the mandate of KRS 227320, 815 KAR 10060 and adopts the NFPA code. Owners and the fire chief are to follow 815 KAR 10060. The fire limits are the corporate city limits. The ordinance adopts the fire protection cost recovery mitigation rates for services, but billings for these rates are only to be made to insurance companies and will not be billed to the individuals involved. New construction plans are to include fire department access roads, fire hydrants, and fire sprinkler systems, and will be reviewed by the fire chief and the city building inspector, as will remodeling in additions to existing buildings in compliance with KRS 227-200, 815 KAR 7120, and 815 KAR 10060. A property owner may request an inspection, and the London Fire Department may conduct inspections to existing buildings in keeping with Kentucky law. Smoke detectors to private home owners are available upon request. Enforcement of this ordinance is by the Code Enforcement Board in keeping with the fines outlined in this ordinance. An appeal process is described in the ordinance, which is effective upon publication. The full ordinance is available for inspection and copying at the office of the London City Clerk.
All right, any questions? If we can get a motion to approve second reading.
Make a motion.
Second?
I'll second.
Mr. Philpott?
Yes.
Mr. Young?
Yes.
Mr. Bench?
Yes.
Mr. Jervis?
Yes.
Ms. Green?
Yes.
All right, moving on to the second reading of ordinance number 2023-26. This is the right-of-way ordinance. Go ahead, City Clerk.
Commonwealth of Kentucky, City of London, ordinance number 2023-26, an ordinance determining city ownership of streets, walls, and trees in the City of London, and responsibility of maintenance, repair, removal, and replacement, tree trimming, and removal on city street right-of-ways. Whereas the City of London does have written easements and deeds for many streets in the city, but does not have actual written easements or deeds for many right-of-ways in the city, and whereas the city is often requested to perform work by constructing or reconstructing streets, walls, trimming trees, or cutting trees that a property owner may claim are within the city's ownership or city right-of-ways, and yet no such written easements or deeds to the city can be found. It is necessary that the city establishes ordinance stating standards for determine if the city owns the property and the extent of the city's ownership for the city proposed or requested work on such properties. For such reasons, the following standards should be used to determine city ownership and if city work should occur on such properties. 1, require the property owner requesting the work by the city to produce written documentation reflecting the city's ownership of the street, written easement or deed, or maintains the street, and for what period of time. This does not preclude the city from conducting its own search for such documentation. A determination shall be made for such documentation if the city owns the property upon which the city is being asked to perform work. 2, if no such written documentation exists or can be found, the city shall determine who built the wall or ditch adjacent to the city street. If it is determined that the property owner or his predecessor entitled constructed the ditch line or wall, the property owner shall be responsible for the replacement, relocation, repair, or maintenance of the same, and the city shall not be so responsible. 3, if no documentation of a written easement or deed, a plat is not sufficient because it does not convey ownership, can be found reflecting ownership of a street, the city shall determine if the city presently maintains the street and for what period of time it has done so. If the street has been maintained by the city for a period of 15 years, the city will be determined to be the owner of the street by prescriptive easement and/or adverse possession for either A, the entire area of the street, or B, 10 feet on either side of the center of the street, whichever is greater, and in such event, the city shall be responsible for maintenance, repair, and/or replacement within that easement. 4, if the width of the street is not sufficient to include the wall or ditch using the above standards, the city shall have no responsibility to maintain, repair, or replace the wall or ditch line. 5, if it is determined that the city is responsible for the maintenance of the wall or ditch, the same shall be repaired or replaced in keeping with the standard current materials used by the city. If the adjacent property owner wishes to upgrade from the standard current materials used by the city, the adjacent property owner shall be responsible for the cost of the upgrade, materials, and additional cost of labor, and a written contract shall be entered into between the city and the adjacent property owner, reflecting each party's understanding and agreement thereto. 6, if a tree's ownership is in a questioned street easement is in dispute between the city and a property owner, the same standard as outlined in numerical paragraph 3 above shall determine tree ownership. If the city is of the opinion that the tree is likely to cause personal physical injury or damage to property, and the property upon which the tree is located is owned by the city, either by written document or by using the standard outlined in paragraph 3 above, the city shall have the discretion of either trimming the tree or removing the tree, and the same shall be questioned by no one. 7, if the above standards do not change, modify, or repeal or replace any requirements made of new residential or commercial developments or construction, particularly with regard to the width of various streets as outlined in the City of London Planning and Zoning ordinances. 8, this ordinance shall be made effective upon publication.
Any questions, council? If we can get a motion to approve second reading.
I'll make a motion to approve second reading.
Second?
I'll second.
Mr. Philpott?
Yes.
Mr. Young?
No.
Mr. Bench?
Yes.
Mr. Jervis?
Yes.
Ms. Green?
Yes.
Thank you. All right. We're going to move into the annexation projects that we've got with council here. We're going to call your name. We ask that you be respectful during this time. We want to hear what everybody that signed up has to say or ask their questions. We know that this is a heated topic. We are very compassionate to that, and we understand that. Council understands that. But we're here in any way we can to answer the questions. But we handed out some documents that kind of lays out what we're kind of expecting here tonight. Everybody will have 2 to 3 minutes to speak. Unfortunately, where we do have quite a bit that wants to speak, going beyond that time would just be not allowed tonight. So watch your time, get your points in, and we'll do our best to answer all your questions here tonight. So the first one that is signed up tonight,
Elise Richmond?
just come to the podium.
Okay, I know a lot of my neighbors have some concerns, and one of the things I wanted to ask about, I know when I moved into my house, I live on Meadow Lane Road, which is off of Court Road. We had asked how much it would cost to hook up to sewer. We have a very small yard, and it was going to cost between $2,000 and $3,000 then. That was 11 years ago. So I'm sure other people would like to know, if we are having to hook up to sewer, who's going to pay for the hookup? I'm assuming we will be responsible for paying for the hookup, correct?
Yes, that's what all utility companies do.
Okay, so therefore, that's going to cost us quite a bit extra money. Now, you say low property taxes, but county taxes will still remain the same, correct?
Yes.
So we're still going to have paying more taxes because it's going to be added on top of what our county taxes are. Okay, now, another question I have is that we received paperwork and told when the first meeting was. We did not receive anything in the mail or any notification about this meeting. We got it through word of mouth. I have some concerns about it being proper, ethical, if there are not these papers like you have right here sent out ahead of time to the people who live in this area that you're thinking about annexing. Because I would say there's a good portion of us here, had we not heard by mouth, would not know we needed to be here tonight.
Tell you what we did. We contacted the PVA's office. The city clerk did this, along with their building inspector, and got a list of all of the property owners in each of these tracts that are being annexed. We sent notices to the city clerk, did this, sent notices to all of the property owners in each of those areas to be annexed. So,
Okay, we got one notice that, about the meeting that was prior to this one. There was no meeting prior to this one?
Said no, this was the
We
only
didn't.
notice.
no, just
This
this.
is the only notice we ever sent out, was about this one.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that was a misunderstanding on my part then. I apologize for that. Okay, and the final question I have, I'm not going to take up a lot of time, is why set up this meeting the night before a holiday? A lot of people are out of town on holiday. And I feel like this is kind of not a good time to do so.
We didn't set up this meeting. The ordinance created on council meetings determines when we can meet and how we meet. Council sets that. It's been set years ago. So we meet the first Monday of every month. This is the first Monday of the month. Second, when we did the reading of the first reading, we have to send out a notice in a certain amount of time. That time frame is 14 days prior to this meeting, again, following the statute of the state. We didn't set this meeting because we were close to a holiday. Regardless of this annexation project or not, we were going to meet because the law of the city is this is the date set that we meet. There is no trickery here or us trying to not get people to show up to this.
Could there not been,
Special call meeting and not do it at this meeting, that you're allowed to have a special call meeting.
You're correct, we are, but again, this was our regular called session. Nobody was thinking we're going to have a lesser crowd show up.
No, let me remind you before things get out of hand. She's speaking now. Don't interrupt her. Whoever's speaking, if it's the mayor or the council, don't interrupt them. If you want to speak, we'll extend that same
But just so
courtesy
you know,
to you.
ma'am, we did, this was our regular called meeting, and that's what the ordinance stipulates when we have to meet.
okay. Well, I just think there should have been a little more forethought played into that since it involves so many people. We're not talking 4 or 5 households. So I kind of felt like that maybe more forethought should have been put into this so that more people could be included in the decision-making.
So you also understand, this is a long 6 to 7 month project. Everybody sitting in this room and it's watching on Facebook, I want you to understand something. Just because this is the second reading doesn't mean you guys are annexed in tonight if council calls this. This is a process that's going to be long and drawn out, and your voices are going to continually be heard.
Okay.
This is an intent. Then there will be a long period, and then we'll do 2 more readings of the actual annexation.
Okay.
So it's let's dispel the rumor that this is a fly-by-night thing that we're trying to get on all of you. This is the intent. There's 2 readings of an intent. Then it will go before zoning and planning. The zoning and planning will approve what that is, that area or that tract's going to be zoned as. Then we come back with 2 more readings, so you have several more months involved. 6 to 7 months to do an annexation. I can promise you, we're not trying to trick you. This isn't tonight when this is over, does not mean you're in the city limits of London. We still have a long process ahead of us.
Okay, and we were not aware that this was, we were under the impression that this was it tonight.
No.
Okay.
And I'm glad that we could clear that up.
Yeah, and in fact, we have been working with 2 businesses with a voluntary annexation, and they're on the other side. How soon can we get this done? And we're still a ways away from that.
We've been working with them since January, and we're 7-8 months to get these people that want to come into the city limits in. So this ain't the end all here tonight. So I'm sure we'll be meeting about this again with the community, and everybody will have plenty of enough time. We're going to follow the law, the letter of the law, and do this the right way.
Okay, well, we greatly appreciate that if you do.
Yeah,
Thank you.
And this is more general. There is another part of this too, and I won't give specific advice about this, but, there are A through G tracks that are outlined here. G just got the first, I guess it's tabled, we'll redraw it. But the others, in each of those areas, after we finish this first intent and we go through the hearing with the zoning commission, then we've got to send notices to all of the property owners and the registered voters in that area to give you all an opportunity to petition for annexation. If you get enough names on the petition, then it can be placed on the ballot, and that area, the precincts that are involved in that area, can vote on it. So there's a lot of safeguards in there.
I just wanted to make sure that all the people involved, that their voice was heard.
Yeah. They'll have the opportunity.
Absolutely. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Absolutely, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you.
Who's the next?
Let me ask up before him. So, just because they're annexed in, they don't have to hook up to city sewer. They don't have to
That
pay
is
the
correct.
cost. They can
They do not.
use a septic tank if they would like.
That
They're
is
not
correct.
forced to hook up to city sewer.
That is correct.
Okay. I want to clarify that because that's been, that would be the citizen's choice.
Now, there has been situations, I remember when the sewer first went to London, that they let people hook up for a discounted rate. Is that up to the
And
water
that's
office?
something that we're going to have to talk to the utility commission, and we are in talks with them and seeing what we can do. Of course, we
Do
want
they
to.
seem like they'll work with us on that so
Yeah,
far?
they've been very, very helpful and great partnership. So I think, we'll come to something. I just don't want to say nothing here tonight because one thing we don't never want to do is lie to the public. But we'll move forward. Next person on the list.
Chris Robertson.
If you don't mind, I want to interrupt just a second, if you don't care, could they tell us what annex that they're involved with?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
that'd
didn't
be
get
helpful.
that from, I think she said-
Do you know what road do you live on?
Country Club Estates.
Parcel B.
Okay, parcel B.
I guess I'm wondering, what's in it for me? I mean,
Good question. A lot of people, they've talked about the annexation, about the county tax and the city tax. If your home is valued at $200,000, it's roughly going to be $156 added to your tax bill at the end of the year. I understand that. That can be a lot to a lot of homes, and we're not negating that fact. But also, you're getting 2 departments. One is accredited, both of them are accredited, and both are great. And that being said, you're going to be a reduction on your homeowner's insurance, which will quite a bit offset that. We've seen and heard up to 35% reduced on the homeowner's part of your insurance. The ability to have a full-time fire department at your service in the event of an emergency is huge. An accredited police department, that we have more people on staff during a shift than the county does. So there's a lot of benefits to it when it comes to the protection side of it. But then having the voice in a city that has a great deal of impact on a county, that to me is huge. That process to be able to vote on who's the mayor, who's your council in a city that has significant impact, that gives you that ability to come in here. So there is some great benefits to being in the city limits. And if you are a London Utility Commission customer, your bill is going to be reduced on sewer and water because you pay a different rate than a person in the city limits does. The garbage does not change.
Don't we provide it?
Is garbage, are we providing garbage?
Are you currently on city garbage?
No.
Okay, so the garbage itself, I don't know if you've checked the prices, but we are way cheaper than the private companies.
So you pay what, $49?
Way cheaper. I've seen, so I think we're around 40.
40 or 45.
Oh, 3 months.
Okay.
$32. Ours is about $19 right now, a month.
Yeah, so it's about $20 a month to be on the city garbage.
Per
Yes,
container.
per container, yeah.
If you have 2 containers, you're gonna pay 40.
Is there any more questions, Mr.
Do we
Rock?
have
I
any
apologize.
say-so on this then, or do we take a vote on this, or do you guys just vote us?
So, yes, the council will vote to, whether or not to annex you guys in. But like Larry said, you do have the ability to have it placed on the ballot by your petitions.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Thank you, sir.
Next person on the list,
Johnny Carr.
Hello, I'm in parcel B, as in boy. First thing I would like to say is, I feel like this map that came to us in the mail fits the letter of the law, but you can't see it. And to me, that's, I don't know what the right word to use is. It's just, it's not fair to us as we're trying to come in as uneducated citizens into this process, and we can't even read what you're sending us. For future annexations, I would request that the city put more thought into what you're sending out. So there's that. The other thing is that petition you're talking about, KRS 81A.420, which I believe we will have enough signatures on a petition to get. My question is, for some of us that own multiple properties, how does that count towards the votes?
The notice that will go out next about that will be to the property owners and the registered voters. The county clerk will be responsible for comparing the names to see that those people are registered voters in that area.
Sure. I guess what I'm...
he's wanting to know how many times basically can he vote if he owns 3 parcels in that one.
Just once. I mean,
Is that what
So does that mean if, let's say I own 3 properties, is my vote a third effectively, since I can only vote once?
County has one vote.
Yeah, I mean, when you vote on anything, see, this is at the general election, so you'll only be allowed to vote once.
I understand that, but I guess my concern is having it sounds like what I'm hearing, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm diluting my voice because I own multiple properties.
You could look at it that way.
So how's that fair to me?
Well, that's the law. I mean, you can just vote once. I would like to vote twice.
No,
They would.
I understand I can only
They-
vote once, but if it's affecting 3 of my properties,
Yeah.
but I can only vote no once,
Yes,
then effectively 2 of my properties are getting a silent yes.
that's the voting law. I can't help that.
Okay. Yes, that's unfortunate. And I would like to know where the city park is going to be in this new annexed area.
I'm sure if we can, it sounds like you're objecting it pretty hard, but if we get it through, I'm sure that council and the tourism would love to get something going.
And the sidewalks, we'll have sidewalks from our
Sure.
properties all the way into the
Sure.
city. Mhm.
Sure.
And when will the noise abatement project begin for boundary line between I-75 and our properties?
There is no plans for that.
Right. Yeah, I'm trying to glean some sort of benefit other than lower homeowners insurance.
So, let me say this. You know, one thing that as a citizen here, because remember, everybody up here in front of you live here, and we're not trying to pull some wool over everybody's eyes in this room. And I understand the frustration. But something I've constantly heard in this community since I've been here, why don't we have the Chick-fil-A? Why don't we have a TJ Maxx? Why don't we have this? Why don't we have that? Our kids don't have nothing. Why don't we have this restaurant? You know whose offices hear this the most? The mayor's and Paula Thompson, the industrial authority. We hear it constantly. But do you realize the first thing that these places look at is the city? They do not care, and Paula will tell you what I'm telling you is the truth. They do not care how many people live in this county. They don't care. You could have 300,000 and they don't care. The first thing they ask is how big is the city. They look at the infrastructure of that city. Paula Thompson's here tonight. You're more than welcome after this meeting to talk to her. She's going to tell you that's the first thing that people ask. Our city, when the last census come out, we're showing just a little over 7,000 people. The opportunities for us as a community to be able to get good things, we're at the threshold. We need to be at 10,000 plus. That's what this annexation really is, the forefront of it, to push us in a position to where we can get better things in this community. And everybody benefits from it, whether you're in the county or you're in the city. But I'm telling you right now, there is no political turn to this. Without the city growing, these things will not come. They just won't. They want to look at the per capita and the size of our city. And the only way we can make things happen in this community and in this county is that London City begins to grow. We haven't done an annexation project in a long time. And there is pros and cons. Everybody could sit here and come up with a con, they can come up with a pro. But the greatest thing is for the benefit of the community as an entire. And that's what we're looking at. Nobody in this panel is sitting here tonight saying this is an easy decision, and we definitely don't want you guys upset at us. We just don't. But we understand the importance of this. We understand what it's going to do for your children, your grandchildren, in the future of our community. That's the important part of this annexation. We're not looking to get a big property tax off you guys because 0.00079 is not a big property tax. There's nothing gained, but as a whole, as Laurel County, we're going to be benefiting tremendously. And that's what this annexation is truly about. That way, when you ask us, where is this store? Why can't we have this? We can give you a good, crude answer. But right now, I can tell you why we don't have them, is our city size is nothing. And we're just not appealing. That's why we're annexing.
I'd like to say something about, we've got a county of like 60,000 people and a city that's just over 7,000. the numbers just don't match up. When you think about that. Now, I have a lot of friends out here that live in the county, and they want to live in the county, and I appreciate you all, I respect you. But when you think about the numbers, and, at some point, you've got to grow that city to have things. And the city is the hub of the county. A lot of you all come into the city to do your banking, your shopping, your entertainment, and we have to have income to do that and provide that. So we've got a very large county with a very small city. And like he said, we probably should have annexed years ago. But just consider the numbers and consider, what the city does for your family. I know that some of you all it might not be a popular thing, but if you'll just sit back and think about how many times you come into the city, what kind of money you spend in the city, what do you do, what does the city provide you all? Then it starts looking like the city is more important to you than what you think. So, but at that, even with that, I respect your all's opinion.
I have a question. I'm not on the paper, I'm sorry. But I live on Kermit Jones Road, right beside where Paul is. And we're in a little community between all the industrial and the airport. Is the city going to come in and take our property where it's growing? Are we going to end up losing or having to move?
No.
I mean, that is.
No, and
because we're just
I understand.
kind of stuck right there.
Yeah.
And I thought industrial development, literally.
We could never, under the Constitution, come in and just take your property. Obviously, purchase it, but I don't see that in my political future or anybody sitting on this up here tonight's
No plans for that.
It happens in bigger cities, so.
It may
had the airport by my
happen here
property.
someday, but we don't have any plans for that.
I'm literally losing, I've got my backyard, my side, my left side, but then on my left side, I'm down is the airport.
And I can assure you that that's not going to happen with anybody that's sitting
Five is expanding and
at
all
this
that.
table. And if the expansion of 25 is a state road, that would be under state jurisdiction on that. So you're safe there. Is there any more questions, sir?
Yes, sir. I would like one response and then just a couple quick questions that I'll leave you with. So you mentioned that you're just talking about a small property tax increase, but we lose many of us here have no restrictions on our lots. So once we're in city limits, yeah, it's just a small property tax fee, but any expansion we want to do, now that's permits. And permits cost money.
Sure.
Right? So I don't think it's just as simple as to say it's only a few dollars, right? A few $100s a year.
But have you seen what it costs to get a permit in the city of London? It's pennies. I mean, honestly, these things can be made into these molehills can be made into this big giant thing. It's not like when you come in there, it's not like a state permit when you come down there. I think electrical permit is what, $10, Josh? $20 to do electrical permit. So it's not like state that you're being charged by square footage. And you're right, that could be one of the cons to you, that you have to get a permit to do something on your property. Not everything, but let me say this. As soon as we all come into office, one of the first thing we all was in agreement on, and we have a law firm looking at, is deregulating a lot of those codes, because a lot of us felt that it was over the top. Council's in agreement. So we're looking at right now and working on deregulating a lot of that. And until the final product comes out, I don't think that I could sit up here and tell you that we're going to be in the same way that we currently operate in. I don't foresee it, because we understand that it is it is harsh in some ways. So, but I'm confident there will be a huge change there.
So will we be grandfathered into our, I don't know how to say it, our
Yes.
lack of restrictions? Will those be grandfathered in?
Yes.
on our lots if you annex us.
Do you want to ask Larry?
I'm not real sure about your question, but when we get to the zoning part of this, I'm sure the recommendation from the council and what the zoning commission has said they want to do is look at the property's present use. So whatever its present use is, whether it's a farm, not everybody's in a subdivision. There's few people that have a cow or a goat or something like that. Whatever its current use is, that's the way it will be zoned, if that's what the property owner wants.
So what I'm hearing is the lack of restrictions that I enjoy today, I'll only get to keep enjoying them if I'm using it today.
If your subdivision, each subdivision plat usually has the restrictions.
Right, my plat has 0.
Oh.
Bob's is unusual, his side of the road has none, mine has restrictions.
Yeah.
We live across the street from each other,
Yeah.
the way they set it up.
Yeah, my plat has 0 restrictions, and I honestly enjoy that and would like to keep that. And then last thing I'll say, is it, in my understanding, correct that city police does have the authority to come in to the county?
That is correct.
Okay, so that's not really an added benefit then, right?
Well, it is, because the city does not patrol the county. That is a big difference.
So are you guaranteeing that they will start patrolling the county?
Chief, are you going to?
Not the county.
Not the county, the city
Okay,
limits.
so the part that's being annexed,
That
will
is
that
correct.
begin patrolment?
We will regularly patrol. We go into the county now, we will request it, if we need help, we go, if we are on our way to work and we see something, we'll take care of it. But if it's annexed into the city, then yeah, we would regularly.
Yeah. And the chief's being a little modest. Right now, usually at night, there's a limited number of deputies, 2 or 3 at best. So the quickest way, if somebody says my home's being broken into, maybe your home today, they'll answer it because they get there quicker.
We also have the option to call the state police, don't we?
You do. And
You do.
that will likely
Chief,
be
you know how many
even
state
longer.
troopers are on any given time in the? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm gonna be honest, I'm gonna sit down now, I'm gonna be honest, it feels like you all are hearing us out because you have to. I'm just gonna be completely honest with you, that's what it feels like. And going all the way back to this map, it feels like a lot of letter of the law being done. You're happy to hear our concerns, but I fully expect that you're all gonna vote yes on this, and I fully expect that we have an uphill battle, but we're gonna fight it. And so.
If you want, you said you were in track B.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, if you want, Curtis can provide you, the city clerk can provide you. I would have, if I brought it with me, a map and a survey description of just that.
But it should have been presented to us in a clearer way. We shouldn't have had to ask for that. That's my point.
I understand.
Yeah, and on this law, this is a question for you, and this is my last one. So we have to get 50% of the vote, of petitions, signatures, to get on the ballot. Does that only pertain to our parcel, or the entire ordinance, the entire annexation?
The ordinance, the particular ordinance, in your case, track B, yes.
So we have to get, and then in November, we get 55% of track B, and then that kills the whole ordinance, or that kills just track B from the ordinance?
After you get the petition, and you really need to see a lawyer about this if you decide to do that, because I don't want to be in a position of giving you advice and someone else.
Sure, and I'm not asking for advice, to be clear, I'm asking for clarity on the law.
Yeah, but it's got to remember, once the clerk goes through that, if there's enough, then it's on the the ballot at the next general election.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Holly Scoble.
So Johnny covered a few of the things I had wanted to ask, so I appreciate that. And it is 50% that has to be signed. And it says that we have to petition. I would like to know what your office has received in terms of phone calls, emails, letters, once this letter went out. Are you all tracking that?
Yes, yes, we're tracking it. We have gotten some feedback. How many was it in total? 2,000 people?
Property owners, about 9, right
Yeah,
under.
I think the total amount of people, it's over, 1,500 people.
Oh, total.
So we've gotten different sides. We've gotten, a lot of people's happy, a lot of people don't care, and then we've got some that don't. So
But you're tracking what the response is?
the ones that do call in or email, yes.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate that. And is that available to the public?
I don't know if you.
I've tracked most, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Unless they just
Okay.
came in
Open
and
records
didn't
request?
give a name.
Yes. Thank you. So, secondly, you talked about the reason you're doing this. If you truly felt that way and you wanted to change this area, you all would consider a metro government with the county, just like Lexington, Fayette, and Jefferson County and Louisville, because that's what changed their numbers. Louisville became 750,000 people for doing that. Somerset kicks our hind end every day because they have more people in their city. If you want to change this area, become a metro government. It's really quite simple. Nobody else in this area would be one.
Somerset's not a metro government.
No, they're not, but they have more numbers than we do.
Yeah.
So they also have Congressman Rogers that lives there, let's be honest.
Yeah.
I mean, they get a lot more than.
That helps.
Than, of course it does. Of course it does. But that would change this area. And I was in economic development for 5 years. I can tell you they look at more than just that, just city numbers. So it has, and if that was the intent, there is, you use the word involuntary a lot. I've heard it several times tonight. There is a voluntary process to annex. You give the property owners the right to write in and ask. The way this has been handled is aggressive, and it's not, the reason you're getting so much opposition, you should have done a campaign. You should have said, hey, let's make this place better. We need over 10,000 people so that we could be a different class of city. There was a way to do this. And the way you have done it has caused a lot of anger. This is not the first time that our area has been talked about being annexed. My mother has lived in this house. We moved there in 1974, numerous times. She's 91 years old. Unfortunately, she didn't feel like coming tonight. She doesn't want it. But she's 91 years old. This is not the first time London has talked about annexing. And you talk about people coming to the city of London and spending money, and you all need to be able to pay for that. Good night, how many more taxes can you have? I mean, you get restaurant tax, you get adventure tax, you get all of these things. I mean, we're standing in a building that they poured an additional $800,000 of taxpayer dollars that you all are going to turn into offices. That money was coming back when it was rented, but we're not going to have that. The city isn't going to have that anymore. That revenue is no longer be coming because now it's going to be offices. And I get that you're offsetting the rent that you're paying on the buildings now. I get all of that. But I would like a real honest conversation. You could have called a special meeting specifically for this. You knew it was a lot of people. You knew that it was going to cause a lot of controversy. You had the opportunity to come in and start and state your case. What it is that you want from this.
Well, that's what we're doing now, and there'll be multiple other meetings over a course of 8 months or so
And I will be
to do
having
that.
some-
So,
Yeah, I'll be
again,
having some of those too.
if this was the final reading, everybody could say, aha, we got you. It's not. It's 8 months. So this is starting.
That should have been in the letter.
The
What I'm
intent,
saying is-
well, we have to write the letter a certain way and to follow.
I'm aware of all
and
that. I
it's-
have all the KRS statutes right here.
It
So
starts
there's
the
no-
process, it starts the process for this right here.
Okay, I just want to be clear. There are things you have to include in the letter. It doesn't mean you can't add other things to it. You could have added other items into the letter besides what was required by the KRS statute. All the statutes are online. They're typically 1 page long. They're super easy to read.
But can I ask you a question?
Sure.
If I would have put all this in a letter, or the city clerk would it changed your opinion?
If you told me what your
No,
intent was.
this interaction of us right now being able to talk, you know, in a professional manner and start the discussion so you can hear from us why we're wanting to do this, and then we hear from you. The opinion, I could never change
started
your.
it before I did the first reading.
Yeah.
I would have started a campaign before I ever did the first reading.
Well, we
Once you
can't
did the-
because we have to legally do an intent to annex to start the
That
process.
does, you've got people that live all over the city of London who know all of us out in the county. You could have done a word of mouth and people say, hey, look, we're looking at annexing your area. Our intent is to do this and this is why we want to do it. You could have been better communicative in what you wanted and why you wanted it.
And that's what the intent does.
Well, that's your opinion, and that doesn't
Well,
make
no,
it
that's
right.
state statute, and that's what we follow.
No, this is cut and dry, black and white. That's not our personalities. That's not people who are friends. That's not people who have known each other their whole lives living here, who went to school together and did all of these things. That's not what this is. This is, we want to annex your property. Here's the KRS statute. I sent you a map. Johnny said it very well. This is, we're sending the letter and we're going to involuntarily, and now you have to fight to make it not happen. And that's what we're going to do. So we have every intent to fight. I will be having meetings separately from you all to let people know what we have to do. We'll be going door to door and signing petitions. But it's sad that it has to come to that, because that's a battle instead of a conversation. It could have been a conversation. Thank you.
Thank you.
Vicki Hollis. Meadowbrook Road. Oh.
I think she said Hobbs.
Okay.
And this person, I guess, is the one that has a map that somebody can actually read. Is that true? Because the map we have, you cannot read at all, which is not fair. It's not fair. I started to call you, young lady, and say, if you want to send a map to my address, send one I can read. Because I can't read it, and I would even with these glasses on. I've got I have a petition from Meadowbrook subdivision, 38 homes. I've got 30 people that do not want to be in there.
I think we
You
have.
cannot, Kelly said, you know, you come, you want to bring business, you want to bring stuff to Laurel County, or are you wanting to bring it to the city? Because you can't put in a single business in Meadowbrook. You can't even build another house in there. So you're not going to do any kind of stuff like that in where I live.
Well, and so you don't go out of here thinking that we want to come in and bulldoze your subdivision or anything.
No, you're not going to.
Well, no, it's the population. We're looking for the population growth in the city limits. Not that we're trying to take acreage to put a parking lot or anything. So that's the benefit of your subdivision to the city.
Okay, but let me ask you this. How many people in here live in the city? Do you all how many people want to live in the city? You want to live in the city. One person, two people wants to live in the city.
You've got several.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't know how many people's here. If I want to live in the city, then I'll try to live in the city. Do you live in the city?
Yes.
You live in the country. Do any of y'all live in the city?
All of them.
I know you do. I know you.
Everybody here on the council.
Well, on the council, you live in the city. But
Yeah.
if I wanted to live in the city, I'd go to the city. I like where I live. I've lived in Laurel County since the day I was born. And I like where I live, and I don't want sidewalks, and I don't want lights. And if I have a problem at my house, I call the Laurel County Sheriff, John Root, or the state police. So I'm perfectly happy. The sewer, I did not hook onto the sewer. I don't want to hook onto the sewer. I'm not going to hook onto the sewer because I cannot afford to. So if the city wants to put sewer and demand it, then they're going to have to pay for it, for me. The garbage, I pay private garbage. It's less than what you all stated the city garbage was, okay? The car tags, are we going to have tags on all of our vehicles on top of the taxes? No city tags
On cars?
on your
No.
vehicles?
No,
Okay, well, that's,
yeah, they ain't had city stickers in a long time.
okay, well, that's one good thing. 7,000 people in the city, 60,000 in the county. Obviously, that's where they want to be. Seems to me like that's pretty clear numbers, you know. And all these places that you've got on here, I know for a fact that there are people in my subdivision that did not get a letter.
And again, when we started this process, we reached out to the PVA's office. They supplied my office, the city clerk's, with the list to mail, and anybody and everybody that was on that list, they did receive a letter. And if there were some missing, then it was not intentional.
They were sent a letter, but they were not received. I know people in my subdivision that is not on this list, and some that are, that did not receive a letter.
If they're renting,
No, they're
they
not
would not
renting.
have. But the information we had was, where do you send the tax bill?
And that's where it was mailed to.
Yeah.
Fair enough. I just don't think, and you know, Kelly used to live out where I live, and she says, you know, there's a lot of things. We do have city water. We didn't ask for city water. You all or somebody decided to put it there. Matter of fact, they came through my yard this past summer and changed the lines. And I had to tell them, you kill my trees, it's your money that's going to pay for them, because they've been there for 90 years, and that's where they're going to stay, and they're worth a lot if you check with the insurance company. You know, so it's just not, I don't think I'm like this lady over here, I do not think it's been done right. I don't think it's been done fair for the 60,000 people that live in the county. And I know all of us, and you've got the paper, it was brought to your office, and I can't see any advantage for me at all,
Okay.
So.
Thank you. Okay.
Jim, meeting?
I want to thank the council for allowing us to speak and ask questions tonight. I just have two questions. First of all, several years ago, Honey Creek subdivision and its members put in street lights in that subdivision. If we are annexed into the city, will the city pick up the cost for those street lights that are already installed in our subdivision, since we're having to pay on an individual basis? So that would be one thing I would ask. And then with the new annexation, how will that increase representation on the city council for the new areas that are being annexed? That's the only questions I have.
First of all, the street lights themselves, that's a process that we would have to go through to get right of way. Providing the city took ownership and the right of way of those, yes, it's probable. Not guaranteeing you, but it's probable. But we have a process we have to go through legally to make that happen. We do pay for lights throughout the city, so it's probable. Not going to say that's going to be in the next 10 years, but possible. And then your second question was, how does...
With the amount of area that's being proposed to be annexed, will that increase any representation on the city council, or with the statutes remain the same number of members in the city council, with the city getting larger?
It would remain the same.
It could be larger. No, you guys can run. Yeah, you guys.
Well, I understand that.
Yeah.
The number of people.
No, it's
It's five. Yeah, with the mayor council form of government that we have, it's 5. Council members are elected at large rather than, by precinct or something like that, so.
And I also want to appreciate the information. There's been some criticism about the information that went out. Thank you for the information you did send out.
Most welcome.
And we will put out.
Thank you. We appreciate you, sir.
Gwen Stivers.
Good evening. I'm representing, or live in, for 42 years in Section B. Something that concerns me that I've sort of felt here tonight is that we keep hearing, what's in it for me? What's in it for me? I hope that you think of what's in it for this community as a whole, not just for me. And I think you all are jumping to conclusions of concern. I've asked, and my husband and I have been asking the city council, and some of you know, Kelly, 10 years I have been asking for our area to be annexed in because of things that I've seen in the community. It is not annexed yet. Don't think that because you're sitting at this meeting tonight, or the next meeting, or the next meeting, that it's going to happen overnight. They think about it. They've told us they'll look at it. They have. I've been waiting 10 years. I'm a patient woman. If you know my husband, you know why. Something else I wanted to mention, you're talking about a property tax that's low. I like figures. I like to research. I've done all the facts and figures 10 years ago about what they're telling you about what's going to save you and what isn't. They're telling you the truth on it. I did all the figures on it. I didn't do it again over and over again because I'm doing it for the third or fourth or fifth time. But if you take that tax and you put it on $156 for a $200,000 house, that's $3 a week. That's not even a pack of cigarettes. It's not a Starbucks that it's going to add to your money, your over thing. Yes, you're going to have to save a little bit. Put it away, $1 or $2. Hey, I'm going to give up a soft drink. I'm putting that toward my tax bill and not wait till the end of the year to do it. We're affected by what decisions they make. I've been affected. The hospital has been annexed. The property behind me's been annexed. We've not been annexed. We told them we'd like to be voluntarily annexed. And so they keep listening to me, and I saw this thing, and I went, yay, we're going to finally get annexed. But it doesn't mean that. Like the mayor said, it may be another 4, 5, 6 years down the road. So don't panic ahead of time. Take this time to look at what they're telling you, research it on your own, look at your own budget, and figure the money that it's going to cost you, and then make changes. You mentioned something, and I don't know, I'm not a lawyer, about if you have multiple properties, why don't you get to vote 3 times, once for each of your properties? Where there are people living in your properties probably, and they vote. So get them to vote. Why should you have more votes than I do just because you're able to own more properties than I am? So you got to think that there's a balance that we need to think about in here. So again, listen to what they say. Come back to the next meeting. They're willing to listen. They've listened to me 3, 4, 5 times. And I live in that Death Trap Valley right down by Saddlebrook. I've come, I've begged. There's a wreck there every couple of days. Those of you that live along that area know that they've put up posts. Those posts were mowed down. They put up new posts that were smaller and able to be seen. They listened that we said that they were hard to see. Those have been mowed down. So is the barrier there. How many wrecks have we seen of total cars in that one little area? And they're trying to listen. They're trying to work with the state. Think about it, when you come to these meetings, we can have opposing opinions. Come back again. I'll come back again. We need to have discussion like they're talking about here. We can have times that we don't agree with each other, but work for what's best for this community. And I think that's all I had to say on here. Oh, I want to know if one area wants to be annexed, like Part C wants to be, and Part B doesn't, or Part F, is it at all or nothing, or can it be?
No, they're separate.
Okay. Thank you for listening to me, and I'm sorry
Thank
I'm
you.
one of us few people in here, but I have strong opinions and I'm willing to fight for them, so, and work with you, okay?
I have a question. On all the different ones, are they contiguous or adjacent to already an existing city
boundary.
So if they're all separate, like C, if C gets annexed, are all of these that you have designated, are they all already contiguous?
Yes, they're correct.
Okay, how did you start the process to annex Saddlebrook? It's not either. It's either contiguous to or adjacent.
We're an island.
Yeah.
But you did that months ago.
Yeah.
You started that process months ago. How did you do that?
You want to, Saddlebrook, I want to know how it's contained.
That was voluntary annexation.
Contiguous or adjacent to any.
Yeah,
Through a
that
voluntary
property
process.
was, because it was adjacent to the roadway that is annexed.
So you all have annexed 192?
Part of it, yes. And we're in the process through this of annexing other
Okay,
parts
so
of
this
it.
process hadn't gone through the first reading yet. The Paris statute states that it has to be in process. So is the road at the moment where Saddlebrook is located, is it already annexed? Or was it in process when that happened?
It's gone through two intent to annex readings. Now remember, it's voluntary. It's not involuntary. The business owners want it to be annexed. So it was annexed adjacent.
How you can annex something, even if it's voluntary, somebody of a clay, that's a laurel clay line would voluntarily want to be annexed.
No,
Then you can annex them.
they could not.
Right.
No.
I'm asking you, is 192 in front of Saddlebrook, is it annexed?
A part of it, yes.
Okay, what part?
The part that's in front of Saddlebrook.
So just how?
You remember
So
a
are you
while,
talking about coming in, because the city line is the bridge. So if it's not from the bridge down to Saddlebrook, then how did you get the part in front of Saddlebrook?
Curtis, you want to answer?
It's been approved by the Secretary of State, part of the road they'll do there and a track on the road across the top. It's been
So those just independently on their own, not touched anything else in the city limits got approved?
No, they'll often teach us everything we turn into.
Okay, that's what I'm asking, where's the contiguous part where it is?
The 192, that's our.
From the bridge over.
Where does 192 touch it? Do you go up to the bridge?
Go all the way up to I-75.
Okay, so you have annexed all the way up to I-75.
Yeah, that was a part of the Corbin annexation. Yeah.
I mean, so you annex Blacktop till you get to the properties, basically.
Yes, we made it available. If people, once we annex the roadways, if people in certain areas want it to be annexed, they could ask.
Let's try to keep decorum because we have several people that still want to speak and we want to give them an option. Jennifer Johnson.
Thank you for your time. I'm sort of split on whether this is a good thing or a bad thing, so I'm not coming up here with a bad spirit or anything. I do have legitimate questions. One is not a question. I did reach out to, my husband reached out to our homeowner's insurance, and they said it is not guaranteed that our insurance will go down. It will still be based on how close we are to a fire hydrant. So unless you all are putting in fire hydrants closer to my house, they actually said that some homeowners' insurance could go up. So I didn't know if you were accidentally saying that it was guaranteed or what, but Farm Bureau said that was no guarantee.
They said it would go up.
Yeah, they said certain situations it could go up. My husband didn't go any farther than that, but
Yeah. See, the other county fire departments are volunteer. Ours is both volunteer and paid. So we always have people there. If you're annexed, you'll have the city fire department.
I understand that, and I appreciate that. I think one is actually getting, I'm in parcel E, by the way, and I think one's getting brought closer to my home, if I've heard correctly.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to state that Farm Bureau said it's no guarantee, that it really depends on how far away your home is from a fire hydrant, not the fire department.
Do you have London Utility Commission water?
Yes.
Or you do? Okay. That'll make it easier. The utility commission at their last meeting, because you're charged different rates, I want to say this if it's okay, they're going to lose, if these annexations go through, about $200,000 because of the lower water rates. You're paying out of city water rates right now. Now, up to this point, we could not put in fire hydrants. The commission has, the mayor talked with them. They have been provided copies of all these maps. Their plans are in the areas that do not have, I'll call it city water, the commission water, to provide those. And that's going to be an expensive process for them. But to answer your question, and the fire chief can probably better answer it.
No, I really didn't have a question about it. I was just wanting to state that you all are saying it will be lower, and my insurance says that's not a guarantee.
Well,
I just wanted to put that out there.
If fire hydrants are there.
Yes.
See, up to this point, those were not,
Yes.
because you weren't in the city.
Yes. I have one that's just not close enough to, the house beside me burnt down before I bought my home. But that was just a statement. The other question I had was, how does this annexation benefit the businesses that are in these areas? Do they have an opinion about it?
We've not heard a lot of feedback from, without men, so I don't lie to you, have we heard?
I haven't heard from any businesses, no.
How does it
Primarily, we've not
benefit
heard-
them?
Well, again, it's as anything grows, as a community grows, it benefits every business. And that is, like I said earlier, the main objective. And then you have the city's support throughout all of our programs, like our business development board that we just put together with the Access for Grant Writer and things of that nature. That's huge for a small business owner. And being in the city limits, that you have the benefits of that. And the city has so many benefits to so many business owners that I don't think a lot of that information is even out. And we're doing our best to get those resources out to the community, saying, hey, this is what we do in the city limits.
Okay. And the other thing is, I know the ordinances have been mentioned, but why were we not aware, we weren't sent a copy of the ordinances that would affect our homes? Like, I'm more concerned with, like,
The business,
putting
like your
animals and things like
development.
that. Like, I was told that possibly you were going to be limited on how many dogs that we were allowed to have in the city limits. Kennel couldn't be outside, things like that.
So that's a lot of ordinances to try to send out, and it's just, it's impossible. But like I stated earlier, council and with my office, we are going through deregulating a lot of that, and we do actually have a lawyer firm right now working on that, a lot of that information. So until that is complete, I don't even want to tell you, because I do understand there is a lot of stuff that they don't agree with, nor do I. So let's see what the end product is.
Currently, just in case nothing changes, what is the ordinance if you have an acre? Is there a limit on how many dogs you can have?
Ma'am, I'm going to be honest with you. I've never read that ordinance. Out of the thousands they have, I've never read that. So
I can tell her that you can't have any more than 5 chickens.
That would affect my sister, but that does not affect
I
me.
asked that question for
And I know
somebody.
the ordinance you're wanting is the 2012 ordinance for animals, and it addresses chickens and dogs in it.
But
I don't have,
And
it's
lot
not my
size.
problem, but my neighbors, they have several dogs. They're not a problem to me. I want to make sure they can keep those animals.
Well, and I'll tell you what we can do is research that for you, and the city clerk can let you know. How's that sound?
Yes, and one other thing, my property adjoins, I think it's a cold storage, that newer place right there on 1006. Will anything be affected where I won't be able to get closer to them, even though it's my property? Will there be a length that I'll have to stay away from their property line?
Not that I'm aware of.
All right, thank you for your time.
You're most welcome.
Deborah Shepherd.
All of my questions pretty much have been answered by this young lady, and I think they said Johnny
Thank you. Next.
Cliff Orville.
Most of my questions have been answered.
Thank you.
Paul Klein.
Thank you. Is it Robert Jacks? Roberta Jacks?
Roberta Jacks.
My questions have been asked.
Thank you.
Michael Collins.
Well, mine's been answered too, but I got a couple off the bat.
Okay.
Are there any, well, I've been hearing this, I'm in that, y'all annexing me in with all them apartments beside us on Hicks Lane.
Uh-huh.
On all of it's C on here, that's on Hicks Lane on both sides. And then you change the weekend there, I can't go to all them apartments and get their signature, 'cause I don't know nobody over there. But on my street, I know about everybody. But if I get all these people to sign, I don't want to go across the street and talk to all these people. You know what I'm saying?
So you're asking us to take the apartments off of your section?
Yes. Yeah.
Smart guy. And we're not gonna lie to you, we're not gonna do that.
I'd say no. That makes it even harder for me to find.
Yeah, I agree. I give you that, yeah.
Did you?
But, no, it's costing us money at this point, and I understand why you would want it, but,
So
unfortunately.
it won't do me no good if all of us in their neighborhood signed.
Right.
Or did you, wait a minute, Larry addressed that earlier. Those people rent those apartments. Will they have a vote?
If they're a registered voter, yes.
And they're renting that apartment?
Yes.
They'll have a vote, even though they don't own the property.
As long as that's their voting address, they will be able the
She
ability to
said
vote.
something about the fire department, it's about the things, when they try to index us. And last time, I talked to my insurance company, and it's 500 feet from your house. That's what they told me.
Okay, for the.
And we don't have no fire hydrant at all on our street. Period.
Okay.
And the bus won't even come up and pick our kids up.
That's something that I'll definitely address if, this
I mean,
annexation
Hers
happens.
has been the same way. I've been there over 30 years. And all my kids are grown, but I got new kids right below me, it's come up and they're walking.
Yeah.
All the way out to the end of the street. And they're little fellers to grown fellers. And I don't know, it just seemed like they ought to have be at least come by and pick them up.
I agree. Is there any other questions we can answer?
No, they got me about covered.
Thank you so much.
Multiple properties.
Just for clarification, you talked about the voting, only counting is once. What about the petition? How's the 50% counted? Is it counted by property owners? So if Johnny owns 3 pieces of property, all 3 of those are counted as one in 50%?
I'm not going to be very specific about that because I don't want, again, to give you advice about that.
I'll ask that.
Okay.
Okay.
I was hoping you all would address that tonight because you should be giving us our rights just like you should be giving the city council their rights. We have rights as well. So it's a shame that.
Yeah, but you start crossing the line to where he's giving you counsel
I'm
and,
not asking for counsel, I'm asking for a clarification on a petition of whether if someone owns more than one property, if it's counted as one property owner, that 50%, or if it's counted, if he can sign the petition 3 times.
he cannot. He gets one vote. He gets one count.
I'm not talking about no vote.
Yes.
One signing.
One signature. One signature, one vote. That's how it's counted.
Still not answering my question.
I can
Yeah,
tell
you just said if he has 3 properties, can he sign it 3 times? The answer is no.
In that, how is the 50% counted? If you have to have 50%.
50% of the total amount of property owners and
Okay, so
voters.
property owners, that was my question.
And voters.
Property owners as a whole.
That is correct. Of actual voters and property owners.
That was the question. Thank you.
On the school bus issues, we worked with the school, the bus people, and now they drive on our street.
Next on the list is
Glenn
I'm sorry, we can't.
Royal Drive.
Almost.
Couple easy questions, probably. Some people in my neighborhood, and myself included, have some special needs, children and stuff like that. I have to have 3 containers. garbage containers. Does the city help me out with that anything, or do I have to pay the whole price for 3 years?
Yeah, currently you would pay per trash can, yes, sir.
There's no, I mean, I go through tons of diapers every month, Chucks, things like that. And I think a lot of these people in here know me, and they know my son. And we got a special situation. Donnie knows. And there's nothing, so I'd still, because right now I'm paying $25 a month for all 3 of them. So, is the city do anything like that?
I will tell you, currently, there is nothing that's on our
There should be,
ordinance.
there should
Yes.
be, yeah.
And it's great feedback. There's a lot of, the good thing about this is we're gonna learn a lot of
Well, I
things
know
like
of 3
this.
special needs kids in my neighborhood myself, and that's all over London, that's just a few.
Yeah.
That's just on my street, so.
Yeah, and I'm not disagreeing with what you said, sir.
Okay, second question. I've lived there 14 years, I've seen 2 police cars on my street in 14 years. Is the city gonna start patrolling our streets, things like that more?
If it goes into annexation, if it goes through.
Yeah, okay, all right, okay, that's it for me.
Thank you so much.
Tanya Poindexter.
Hello, I'm in section E. I feel like this is the Hunger Games or something. And I live on Court Road, and my great-grandfather owned all of the land through there back years ago, and I've lived there pretty much all my life. I'm 56, so I know most everybody in the whole neighborhood. We live on the dead-end road. And I kind of took it upon myself because I'm very partial to my area because it's very important to me. My neighborhood is, and I know most everybody in the neighborhood. And so when I read up on the instructions on what to do, we don't want to be annexed into the city. We like where we're at. We like being in the county. I understand that you say that the property tax isn't going to be that much, but I'm a single mom, and any amount more, because property tax just went up again like last year, and any amount more is hard on people that can't afford it. And any like extra taxes and stuff like that is really hard on people. The people that lives in my community on Court Road, Miller Lane, Meadow Lane, Sunnyside, out of everybody, I went to each door and I talked to everybody, and I did get a petition going, and I talked to them and I told them that, you know, we deserve a right to vote on this, that it shouldn't be up to 5 or 6 people to tell us that lives in the city what we can do, you know, and put this stuff upon us. We should be able to vote as a community in each section, I feel, because, you know, that's only fair. I mean, it's us that's living in that area, and we live there because we like it. We could move to the city if we wanted to, and, you know, and I understand the need for wanting, you know, to expand the city, but the area that I live in is really tight-knit, and we all know each other, and out of everybody on entire Court Road, only 2 people didn't sign the petition, and that's every single house. Also on Old Whitley Road from the Shell Station on out to the end of it, everybody signed the petition. The only place that I've not went down yet is on Kermit Jones Lane. I've not went and talked to them. And I explained to everybody, you know, I mean, I just, you know, when I went to them, I told them, you know, how you feel about it and stuff, because they did get the letters, and they didn't really understand a whole lot. And I've researched it, and I mean, I didn't try to sway them either way. I just told them, you know, this is, you know, they asked me questions, and I answered them the best we could, you know. And, you know, and I told them, I said, all this is going to do, if you sign the petition, is it will potentially give us a right to vote for ourselves, for our community. And I feel like that's what should have happened to begin with, because I don't feel like that people putting the council putting this on us and saying that this is what pretty much is going to happen unless we get out and do the footwork and try to prevent it from happening. I can understand, like Greer area, where that stuff is. I understand why they would need to be in the city limits, and that's perfectly okay. But nobody wants it through that. I mean, and we're, like I said, we're a tight-knit area, and some of us has farm animals, some of us has other animals, and bringing that up, I own Wilderness Trail Wildlife Center, and I'm licensed with the Kentucky Fish and Wildlife, and I have been for 5 years now, and I'm licensed with the USDA and the International Wildlife Society. I do go around to schools and public parks and stuff, and I do educational programs, and I take in injured and orphaned wildlife. I do everything except birds. I do mammals, amphibians, reptiles, and everything except birds. And I'm licensed to do that. I get inspected by the Kentucky Fish and Wildlife once a year, and they come over more than that because they bring me stuff. And I get inspected by the USDA every year. But in the ordinance, it says no wildlife in the city limits. And I don't have the resources. It's in there. I don't have the resources. I just don't think that it would be fair for that. I'm a nonprofit too. I formed a 501c3.
Do you know what ordinance that's in? Because, ma'am, we have a farm right here off Main Street.
It's in there for wildlife. It's I've got it on my phone, and I can tell you.
Yeah,
later.
if you want to reach out to us, and because we've got several farms in city limits right now.
But those are domestic. Those are domestic animals, and mine are native Kentucky wildlife.
Yeah, it wouldn't change if you're properly
Well,
licensed.
Yeah, it don't specify that in the rules, and I mean, I can understand you all not wanting, and this is just part of it. It's not, the whole thing. It's a very big concern for me because I'm one of only 3 people east of Interstate 75 that does what I do.
Yeah,
And
that would not change.
I would want, if for whatever reason, like I said, that's just part of it.
Those properties, whatever use is being made off them, they're going to be grandfathered in for that use.
Well, if it come down and if we got annexed for whatever reason, if these, come voting season, I would like to have a special written permission so that way, if somebody one time come up and said, hey, there's a rule here that says no wildlife, and then I don't want to have to go to court and have to fight for it because I will.
You shouldn't have
and like I said, I do get inspected by the Fish and Wildlife and the USDA, and it's very important to me. I do wildlife that's also like bats. I do different types of turtles. I do opossums. I do fawns, snakes.
We can definitely research that for you, and I can assure you that if you get annexed in, again, like the city attorney was saying, you would be grandfathered in at that point to the ordinance, so
Right.
it wouldn't affect you.
Well, like I said, I can understand you not wanting a bunch of people coming into the city saying, okay, well, I'm going to do this wildlife thing and,
Sure.
And all of that. I can understand that, but I
But you
wasn't.
would be grandfathered in.
But I would definitely want to have that written out, so that way.
We can do that.
Yeah.
But, and like I said, that's not the only reason, but it's a passion of mine, and it's very important to me, and I've got like 59,000 followers that helps. I'm a 501c3 corporation now, so it's very important to me. And, but like I said, that's a part of it. It's not all of it. But our neighborhood means a lot to us, and we want to stay in the county. We don't want to be annexed.
Okay, thank you so much.
Linda Elslinger.
all my issues have been addressed by my neighbors.
All right, thank you.
Joyce Epperson.
I don't have
Okay, thank you.
It's been answered by.
Is it Charles Epperson?
You know, I came up to Mr. Wells' office, and he let me, you know, he brought me right in there and started answering some questions for me, and just kind of gave me the same things gave you all today, and I appreciate that. At least he's consistent, right? But you know, there's a couple things. I've got some concerns. You know, just like these people. You know, these maps are terrible. I feel like that each one of us should have got our own section, and it big, because I don't need to see what's happening in Corbin. You know, I don't need to see what's happening here and there. I need to see what's happening in C. You know, and you know, if I'm brought into the city, I hear all these ordinances about we're going to argue over a tree is on the, you know, and my property or your property. Is the road my property or is it your all's property? You know, I mean, that's a lot of things. What about panhandling? Or, I mean, you know, why don't we move into the city? I don't want to be in the city. You know, I mean, for one thing, the panhandling. Do we have any ordinance going up for that? We got any help for the people, the homeless?
Yes.
I mean, what are we doing with that?
We're actively working with them and the resources out of the state, but the police department is addressing the panhandle when it's safety concerns especially.
Yeah, there's a hammock up there on I-75 right now.
Yeah.
Anybody check on that? I mean,
We're constantly going into those camps.
They need some help, you know? You know, if we're going to get these businesses in here, who's going to work them? Who's going to work these businesses? I mean, we want all this stuff. I hear y'all wanting all this stuff. Who's going to work them? Everybody I know's got a job. You know, that wants a job. What about the college? Do you think you ought to be working on getting that college back going so you can get some kids to work them jobs you want to have? Is that right? Did you work when you was in college? I mean, you was in college together. Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, does anybody in here want, you know, y'all got family members can't get a job? Or do you got family members that don't want a job? Right? You gonna get Kohl's in here? You're gonna get all these places. We're talking about Target. You know, how many people take to run Target? Right? We don't got them. You know, we don't have them. And the guys in the county, they're going places where they can make good money. You know, look, you know, I mean, that's my issue with it. You know, I mean, when you stop at my corner, there's my wife and I, my mom and dad, and my two boys. My next door neighbors are a couple with no kids. My next neighbor is a family of 3. Then we have a halfway house, drug rehab, whatever you want to call it. Then we have a house that don't have anybody in it. Then we have the Kenneth Green property that has nobody in it. I mean, you're talking annexing how many acres there with 8 people on it, you know? I understand you guys want to get your hands into the whiskey barrel deal up there. You need that tax revenue. Why are you taking the side of the road that has no population? You're not taking Woods Edge. You're not taking Mallard Point. I mean, for real? I mean, what are we doing? Is there still some spots of the city that's not annexed in between the hospital and I-75 like it used to be, or did you take that already? Has that been taken in, or is there spots it's missing?
Yeah, as far as to my knowledge, it's all been taken in.
Because it weren't for a while,
Yeah.
you know. And I would understand if you could say, you know, if it's voluntary, yeah, you know, I mean, just like these people said, there's people who want to be in it. There's a lot more of us that don't. You know, I know you tell me that my business will be okay. Well, listen, I'm just one guy, and I work for myself. How you going to zone me? I work out of my house. If you don't make me commercial, how am I gonna work? If you make my house commercial, what's my taxes commercial?
Well, you don't have to be commercial to have a business out of your home in city limits.
Yeah, I've got a lot of garages, and I've got a lot of stuff out there.
Yeah.
It's just me.
You're
you know?
allowed to operate a business out of your home.
So is there a difference between commercial property tax and residential? It's the
No.
same?
Same.
Okay, well, that sounds pretty good. I figured for sure that there would be a little bit of difference between that. But, you know, that's kind of my issues. I'm like them. I think it's like a little bit shady looking. I know it's not shady, but it's a little shady looking. Do everybody agree with that? I mean, if it's not shady, it's shady looking. And this holiday weekend, this week, I think really it should have been a special deal because of the holiday, honestly. You know, and I went to school with Chuck too, back there. Yeah, I said I went to school with you too, so.
He went to school with you, Chuck.
I'm sorry. Here,
Is there any other questions?
No, I don't have any other
Thank you so much,
questions.
Mr. Epperson. The last one is
Doris Sizemore.
Doris had enough. Okay, that would conclude the public portion of this. Again, we truly do thank every one of you for being here tonight and addressing your concerns with council and with my office and telling us what your concerns are. I would like to leave you guys, and before we get into reading these, with this to note. We got to start thinking about our future as a community. I understand, and whether you walk out here believing that me when I say this or not, me and council understands your concerns. We're not just dismissing them. But somebody, somewhere, someday is going to have to do this for the betterment of our community and for this community to grow. For the sake of your children and your grandchildren, somebody's going to have to do this. And I know change is not easy, and people can debate all day and say the city does not have to grow for for our county to be. It's absolutely false. I can assure you, as a businessman that has built many of corporate buildings, and any industrial authority person that you talk to in this state that does economic development, they're going to tell you this city, everything hinges on our infrastructure, our population size, and our per capita for every household that's in the city limits. That's the factors. Is it the only factors? No, but that is the majority of the very first things they ask when they're entertaining and coming to the community. So I think that you should just stop for 1 minute and just look at it for the fact of your community, and like you've heard others speak about. I understand the frustration, I understand the concerns, truly we do. But this truly is for our community and not just some politicians trying to grab some land. It's truly for the embetterment of our entire county, not just the city. That's why we've come to this conclusion. Council, do you have anything you would like to add?
I'd just like to say that I've got a lot of friends out here, people I went to school with, people that I've known all my life and think the world of, people I go to church with. And I know that old saying is cliche, but sometimes we have to plant trees that we might now ever sit under. Annexation is a necessary evil, the way I see it. And y'all are looking at me like, well, I know how you're going to vote. Well, no, I want to hear you guys. This is a process. And I only speak for myself, but I promise we haven't tried to pull anything. I haven't heard anybody say we're trying to do anything malicious. But I don't want to pay any more taxes than I have to. And I know our citizens feel the same way. But there is a blanket benefit to this. And as they've said before, tonight's been said over and over, but more citizens, more state and federal revenue come our way. Annexation is one of those things, everybody's for it till they want to annex you. And I don't blame you. I would be the same way. I'm with you 100%. And I don't know how this is going to all shake out. But I can promise you that this is nothing personal. I promise you that. Nothing personal at all. And I just hope I have picked up a lot on your all side tonight, and I sympathize with that. So we've got further discussion on this, and I think sometimes it's, we have to, it's going to grow us into more revenue, and that benefits everybody. That's it.
Anyone else?
Will we be notified if there's another reading or whatever the next step is in this process?
Yes. Yes, if tonight this proceeds past second reading, you guys will get notification of zoning. Then after the zoning, we will proceed into the actual annexation process. Then there will be 2 readings of that, so. Council, anybody else? Nothing else? We're going to continue on the agenda. The second reading of ordinance number 2023-25 with the intent to annex Track A.
City of London, summary of ordinance number 2023-25 entitled An Ordinance of Intent to Annex Areas Tract A below described as which begins at the intersection of I-75 and Parker Road, State Route 3432, with the present city boundaries of ordinance number 734 and crossing Parker Road with I-75 to present city boundaries of ordinance number 2008-03 and crossing Parker Road with Parker Road to the beginning consisting of 19.45 acres. This summary is prepared by City Attorney Larry G. Bryson, who is certified to practice law in this Commonwealth. This ordinance is an intent to annex an area of property as an involuntary annexation. The roadway areas are under the ownership of the Commonwealth of Kentucky, and other property is owned by various individuals. A map of the area to be annexed is attached to the ordinance as Exhibit A, and a particular survey description is contained in Exhibit B. The roadway property is generally described as governmental in nature, and the other property is a mixture of residential and commercial property. Findings consistent with the requirements of KRS 81A 410 through 412, KRS 262-850, and other applicable law are made and noticed in keeping with KRS 81A 425 are being made as this annexation is an involuntary annexation. A more detailed description and maps reflecting the areas being annexed and the full text of the ordinance are available for review at the office of the London City Clerk during normal business hours. This ordinance will be effective upon publication of this summary.
Need a motion to approve second reading of ordinance number 2023-25.
I make a motion.
Second.
I'll second it.
Roll call.
Mr. Philpott?
Yes.
Mr. Young?
Yes.
Mr. Benj?
Yes.
Mr. Jervis?
Yes.
Ms. Green?
Yes.
Thank you, council. This is the second reading of ordinance number 2023-28. This is the ordinance to intent to annex Track B, or I'm sorry, ordinance number 2023-29.
Is this section
Got it
B?
messed up
We got
here.
28.
Yeah, 28, I'm sorry. Track B.
I want to make a motion, we table that till August. Heard a lot of people speak about that particular ordinance, and one of the largest complaints is that they didn't get enough notification.
Are we on B
Give
or
them
D
more
right
time.
now?
We on B?
B.
Yeah.
B.
B is in
correct?
boy.
Correct? Is that the annexation that covers Bog subdivision?
Yeah.
Mhm.
In that area?
I second that to table it
Let's
to
table that, yeah.
August.
I agree with that.
Mr. Philpott?
No.
Mr. Young?
Yes.
Mr. Benj?
Yes.
Mr. Jervis?
Yes.
Mr. Green?
Yes.
Okay, that is, ordinance number 2023-28 is Track B, has been tabled until the next meeting. The second reading of ordinance number 2023-29, this would be the intent of Track C.
City of London, summary of ordinance number 2023-29 entitled An Ordinance of Intent to Annex a Tract of Property described herein as Tract C, which begins at I-75 with present city boundaries of ordinance number 984, then with and following State Route 1006, crossing State Route 363, thence with State Route 363 to I-75, thence crossing State Route 363, and with I-75 to the beginning consisting of 285.79 acres. This summary is prepared by City Attorney Larry G. Bryson, who is certified to practice law in this Commonwealth. This ordinance is an intent to annex an area of property as an involuntary annexation. The roadway areas are under the ownership of the Commonwealth of Kentucky, and the remainder of the property is owned by various individuals. A map of the area to be annexed is attached to the ordinance as Exhibit A, and a particular survey description is contained in Exhibit B. The roadway property is generally described as governmental in nature, and other property is a mixture of residential and commercial property. This property is described on the survey and map as Tract C. Findings consistent with the requirements of KRS 81A 410 through 412, KRS 262-850, and other applicable law are made, and notice in keeping with KRS 81A 425 are being made as this annexation is an involuntary annexation. A more detailed description and maps reflecting the areas being annexed and the full text of the ordinance are available for review at the office of the London City Clerk during normal business hours. This ordinance will be effective upon publication of the summary.
Make a motion, need a motion for a second, approve second reading of Tract C.
I'll make a motion.
Second?
A second.
Mr. Philpott?
Yes.
Mr. Young?
Yes.
Mr. Benj?
Yes.
Mr.
Yes.
Jervis? Ms. Green?
Yes.
This will be the second reading of ordinance number 2023-30, Tract D.
City of London, a summary of ordinance number 2023-30 entitled An Ordinance of Intent to Annex a Tract of Property described herein as Tract D, which begins at the present city boundaries of ordinance number 984, then with and following State Route 1006 with the present city boundaries and Sublimity School Road to State Route 1006, then with State Route 1006 to the beginning, consisting of 71.28 acres. This summary is prepared by City Attorney Larry G. Bryson, who is certified to practice law in this Commonwealth. This ordinance is an intent to annex an area of property as an involuntary annexation. The roadway areas are under the ownership of the Commonwealth of Kentucky, and the remainder of the property is owned by various individuals. A map of the area to be annexed is attached to the ordinance as Exhibit A, and a particular survey description is contained in Exhibit B. The roadway property is generally described as governmental in nature, and the other property is a mixture of residential and commercial property. This property is described on the survey and map as Tract D. Findings consistent with the requirements of KRS 81A 410 through 412, KRS 262-850, and other applicable law are made, and notice in keeping with KRS 81A 425 are being made as this annexation is an involuntary annexation. A more detailed description and maps reflecting the areas being annexed and the full text of the ordinance are available for review at the office of the London City Clerk during normal business hours. This ordinance will be effective upon publication of the summary.
I need a motion to approve second reading.
I make a motion.
Second?
Second.
Mr. Philpott?
Yes.
Mr. Young?
Yes.
Mr. Benj?
Yes.
Mr. Jervis? Ms.
He went away.
Oh. Ms. Green?
Should we wait?
Yes.
Wait.
Where'd they disappear?
Let's wait till he gets back. before we
Yeah.
go any farther.
We'll wait and see what his vote said. You still have a quorum.
Whatever. Go ahead.
While we're waiting on Councilman Kip Jervis to come back, Tract B was tabled, and we got a message. That would be anything along the I-75, State Route 363. That is the largest annexation of this process. So you're looking at going out to McGill Wine Road to State Route 192. A lot of folks in that annexation that do want to come into that portion. So we do advise you guys to reach out to your council members and let them know your opinion on this, because that is a big sector with a lot of homes. Is Kip back? Oh, there he is.
He almost disappeared.
His vote.
Is that your official vote? Okay.
It's the same one, I'm voting yes.
Second reading of ordinance number 2023-31. This is Tract E.
Commonwealth of Kentucky, City of London, ordinance number 2023-31, an ordinance of intent to annex a tract of property referred to herein as Tract E, which begins at the present city boundaries, ordinance 984 and U.S. Route 25, thence with US Route 25 and Ordinance 984. 2, in crossing State Route 1006, thence with State Route 1006 to the existing city limits, Ordinance 984, thence with the existing city boundaries, Ordinance 984, to US Route 25 containing 317.66 acres. Do I not have a, I guess I'll read this one. Do you have a summary of this one? No.
Track E.
Yeah, I did not. This summary is prepared by City Attorney Larry G. Bryson, who is certified to practice law in this Commonwealth. This ordinance is an intent to annex an area of property as an involuntary annexation. The roadway areas are under the ownership of the Commonwealth of Kentucky, and the remainder of the property is owned by various individuals. A map of the area to be annexed is attached to the ordinance as Exhibit A, and a particular survey description is contained in Exhibit B. The roadway property is generally described as governmental in nature, and the other property is a mixture of residential and commercial property. This property is described on the survey and map as Tract E. Findings consistent with the requirements of KRS 81A 410 through 412, KRS 262 850, and other applicable law are made and notice in keeping with KRS 81A 425 are being made as this annexation is an involuntary annexation. A more detailed description of and maps reflecting the areas being annexed and the full text of the ordinance are available for review at the office of the London City Clerk during normal business hours. This ordinance will be effective upon publication of the summary.
Need a motion to approve for, second reading, Track E.
Make that motion.
Second.
Second it.
Mr. Philpott?
Yes.
Mr. Young?
Yes.
Mr. Bench?
No.
Mr. Jervis?
Yes.
Ms. Green?
Yes.
This is the second reading of ordinance number 2023-32. This would be Track F.
City of London, summary of ordinance number 2023-32, entitled An Ordinance of Intent to Annex a Tract of Property described herein as Tract F, which begins at the present city boundaries of ordinance number 2023-18 to the property boundary corner of the London Laurel and Laurel County Industrial Authority, Greer Industrial Park, thence leaving US Route 25 and with the property boundary corners of the Greer Industrial Park to State Route 1006, thence with State Route 1006 to the beginning corner containing 130.07 acres. This summary is prepared by City Attorney Larry G. Bryson, who is certified to practice law in this Commonwealth. This ordinance is an intent to annex an area of property as an involuntary annexation. The roadway areas are under the ownership of the Commonwealth of Kentucky, and remainder of the property is owned by various individuals. A map of the area to be annexed is attached to the ordinance as Exhibit A, and particular survey description is contained in Exhibit B. The roadway property is generally described as governmental in nature, and the other property is a mixture of residential and commercial property. This property is described on the survey and map as Tract F. Findings consistent with the requirements of KRS 81A 410 through 412, KRS 262 850, and other applicable law are made and notice in keeping with KRS 81A 425 are being made as this annexation is an involuntary annexation. A more detailed description and maps reflecting the areas being annexed and the full text of the ordinance are available for review at the office of London City Clerk during normal business hours. This ordinance will be effective upon publication of the summary.
Need a motion to approve Track F?
I'll make a motion.
Second.
I'll second.
Roll call.
Mr. Philpott?
Yes.
Mr. Young?
Yes.
Mr. Benj?
Yes.
Mr. Jervis?
Yes.
Mrs. Green?
Yes.
One last thing, we'll need approval since Track B was tabled. We will need approval for spending to reissue letters this month. We'll have to send all those letters out again for the next month meeting. I don't have an exact cost, but there's 560-something properties in that. Times that by 70 cents and whatever manpower. What was the weight? It was 60, was it 60 cents?
No, it was 85.
85?
Maybe, for postage.
85? How many, 5?
We have 5 what?
That's 560.
Yeah, 560.
So,
But also there's, well, cost of paper, but.
yeah, I mean, it's probably about $800 to reissue.
Sounds good.
Can I get a motion to approve?
Make a motion.
Yeah, I'll make one.
So second,
Second.
roll call.
Mr. Philpott? Mr. Young?
Yes.
Mr. Benj?
Yes.
Mr. Jervis?
Yes.
Ms. Green?
Yes.
Also, how would council like to proceed on trying to verify that the PVA's mailing list is correct?
Was that
That's
contested heavily
correct.
tonight? I don't remember. I mean, that they didn't get them. I don't like to throw PVA under the bus, obviously, you know.
No, but that's the list we went off of to mail.
Yeah, right, it is. I'm just, was there a large number of people tonight said they didn't get them?
There's just about 3 that spoke that said they didn't.
Those have to be sent out, how many days in advance?
14.
14 days in advance. So I really don't know why they didn't get them.
The reason I called Curtis up here too, I wish there was a way we had, like, you know, some kind of QR code or something that these people could open up on a bigger screen, on a large screen or something, and see their actual map. And make it interactive where they can move the mouse over and back, and if we're going to go through this again, you know,
Yeah.
let's give them a better map.
Yeah, we
Let's
can
give 'em a-
send out a map on
Like an
this
interactive,
particular track.
something that y'all could, I don't know.
Kip, we can send out a map on this particular tract.
Or it could be put on the website.
If we mail out a bigger
Or, you
map,
know, yeah, anything, you know, what if you had like a,
well, a lot of your elder people won't be able to access that. So,
Yeah,
and
QR code
legally,
like
we
that.
have to have a document. So, we can mail out a bigger map.
I mean, that seemed to be a thing tonight.
So the cost is gonna go up. Well, I just have to do a special call meeting once I have the numbers. We can get, we need about 600 large maps of Track B, big enough for them to read everything on the map.
If we had track B by itself, I wonder if that would be.
Okay. Well, they're wanting us to send them all out, so you'll have to, I mean, that's 560 people that we gotta mail that out to, and then I've gotta verify the list of who that is, so. Whew, yeah, well, we'll do a special call meeting, get me the numbers, if you don't care.
Yeah, that's all I'm asking, just get the numbers, you know, and we can, that way we can look at it.
Yeah.
So we're gonna do track B in August though, correct?
No, we'll have to do
That was the
I
motion.
can't do, yeah, but we have to send out notice again 2 weeks before the August meeting.
Yeah, a minimum 2 weeks.
14 days,
14
correct.
days or more.
So we'll have to do a special call meeting so you can approve for us to spend the money to get that $5 or $6 per
We
map
just approved to spend $800 to mail out the mailers.
I mean, if you put it on the letter size piece of paper, you should be able to read it, and the legal size, they should be able to read it. It's just that there's
We
so
don't
much
need that.
information on the map.
I mean, we sent out a page that had all the annexes on it. If they just had one on there, like we do in Section G, it's very readable.
Yeah, just clear it up if we can.
That's a lot of money to spend.
You can't read it, the letter size. Well, I'm gonna be honest with you, we do have some of the, last month, the council had them, the individual tracks, I think it was broke down for B, for them.
Yeah, I mean, that's large, that's a large, that's a little less than two. I would put them up on the wall, so when people come in early, they can walk up and look at the big large ones. If you want a couple of those, put them on the wall.
So what would that cost us for 560? Okay.
Is that big enough?
If we had just that one.
That's a page of one Section G that we just did. And it could be a little larger, turn it this way.
That's not what they got. I thought they got that.
Oh, they got one, but it had all the
No, they
annexes
got
on
the
it.
one
you got
with
the-
all
okay.
of them. And you can't read
Just a
it.
notebook page.
I
A legal
couldn't read
page
it.
is big enough.
Can we get,
I'm using my phone to make it, this is what we got.
Yeah, I've seen that.
That's
I didn't
okay.
know.
I'm over here taking my phone and enlarging it so I can find the street names. I mean, it's just.
That's what I told you, the council does have the,
We'll try to
I
help
mean,
you
I don't
out.
care if you want to have a special call meeting, that's fine, but we get-
Can we get just the parcel B?
so the part, what will be the cost?
And I'm with you on that. I have no reason not to.
So 500 and 600 for him
Okay,
to redo.
just put it on the letter size, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Ma'am, do you have a question?
We could-
I haven't lived here that long, so I don't know if laws are different here, but in Oklahoma, where I came from, you could put in the letter that it's online, and that's as good as sending them a map,
Yeah.
Right.
and that would save a whole lot of money.
I think so too.
sure
I think we
our
ought to put
cons-
it online.
Our concern was elderly people, but I don't know.
Everybody's got a
Maybe.
computer now.
Well,
There you go.
age is a relative term anyway. Some people at my house call me elderly too, ma'am, so, yeah. So everybody be good with that though, right? Everybody be good with that?
They just want access to it. I mean, it's, you know, we got the information 13 days before the meeting, and you could barely read it.
Yeah.
The holiday fell when it was mailed.
I don't think we actually need to spend a ton of money doing it. I think we could do
No,
it
I-
several different ways.
I
Put
just
it out
wanna
there
make
on the
sure that they
web,
can see it good.
and then have it at City Hall or somewhere.
My suggestion
Hang it in the window.
is you all have a copy of the map with the ordinance. Is that big enough, do you think?
Yes, I mean, the one that has them separated.
Yes.
That is big enough.
Well, this notice will send that map out, but we can also put it online.
Problem solved.
Okay, there you go. Just every one of them separate so that
gotta-
those people can see.
Go ahead, Steve.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, Cal.
No, you're
Not
good.
for that.
We get a copy, you give me a copy, I'll make some copies and give them to people. Oh, fine, whatever.
Okay, sounds good. All right. Moving on. That will conclude this meeting. We're going to go to executive session, and if somebody can make a motion to go to executive session. Thank you, everyone, for attending the meeting today.
I make a motion, let's go to executive.
We don't have a quorum.
Yeah.